Hey, what's good? When this is Adnan Radine Clutch, I want to talk about some recent news going on around the NBA regarding the best team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they just re-signed Alex Caruso to a 4-year, $81 million contract extension to stay with OKC, especially during their long-term plans, as they're gunning for an NBA championship this season with the help of Alex Caruso's veteran leadership and championship experience, with Shai Alexander becoming an MVP candidate, with Jaylen Williams being able to step up as the number 2 option, with Chet Holmgren being in and out of the lineup constantly. This team is just primed for just greatness overall, and they are putting themselves in the best position possible to go against the likes of the Denver Nuggets, the Memphis Grizzlies, the LA Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings, and I can just go on, or even other young teams that are possibly gunning up, like the Houston Rockets and the LA Clippers. Like, there's just so many teams out there that in the West, it is such a tight race between like the 2nd to the 7th seed, whereas the East, it's a more or less a relatively sizable gap between teams in the East, but like on the West, it is such a tight race. Like nobody can let up, nobody can go through a slump without going from, like, let's say 3rd all the way down to 9th, for example. It is that important to be able to win every single game possible and to put yourself in the best position to compete for an NBA championship. And that's what Oklahoma City Thunder is doing. And with Alex Caruso, he's just been an amazing defensive presence. Like, he is known for like getting all up in your grill, being able to be such a great hustler, doing all the dirty work, especially coming off the bench. Like, he gives like life to the second unit and be able to give that momentum to keep Oklahoma City Thunder up ahead and be able to like use Shai Alexander and Jaylen Williams to be able to finish them off big time, because Alex Caruso, he's able to take care of everybody else on the defensive end on the second unit, and then basically they just leave it to SGA to be able to finish them off for good, just with his amazing scoring and his ability to get to the foul line. It's just a deadly combination going on between the first unit and the second unit, led by Shai Alexander and then Alex Caruso, respectively, which overall I'm very impressed with. And when looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are 22-5 at the time of recording. They are first in the West by 3 games against the number 2 seeded Memphis Grizzlies. And when looking at Alex Caruso's stats, they may not stand out a lot, but it is it's still like telling, and like stats don't say everything, but they do contribute to him like getting the Oklahoma City Thunder to the 1st seed, as he's averaging at the time of recording 5.7 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.9 steals, 0.6 blocks per game, while shooting 38.5% from the field, 27% from 3-point range, and 0.8 turnovers a game. Now, like I mentioned, most of these stats, they don't stand out. They're like, okay, we're just talking about a role player here, and understandable, but we have to understand not everybody's going to drop 30 points per game. Not everybody's going to have 12 rebounds or 10 assists or things like that. It's a team game. Everybody has to contribute to some degree. And Alex Caruso, like I mentioned, he contributes a lot off the bench, and he contributes a lot defensively. Now, one of the stats that do stand out a lot, in my opinion, is his steals per game, which is 1.9. And when looking at this, when diving deeper, he actually is tied for 5th most steals per game in the entire NBA. And he has major influence on his teammates, because SGA, he's actually averaging 2 steals per game, and he's ranked 3rd in the NBA. And Jaylen Williams is also tied for 5th in the league with 1.9 steals as well. So with Alex Caruso having a special, strong defensive presence, especially in practice, him always going for these hustles, him diving the ball, being able to get up all on everybody's grill, like just going all up in their face and trying to go for steals and things like that, that's like, okay, we're seeing his hustle. He's doing all this dirty work. We need to do that ourselves. Let's go out there. Let's go harder, even ourselves. Because if they're going this aggressive and everything like that in practice, once it translates to the game, SGA and Jaylen Williams, they were able to make those steals and relatively easily, because like Alex Caruso, he makes it very difficult, and he shows them techniques, what he needs to do, how to like pickpocket them, how to be able to get from behind, or how to like be able to like intercept passes or make deflections. And that has a strong influence on them, which is why Oklahoma City Thunder has no signs of slowing down barring injury, which is a very huge contributor, I feel, as to why they're re-signing Alex Caruso, not just on his play on the court, but also things that happens behind the scenes during practice, him being a locker room leader, him being able to mentor these young guys to guide them to where they need to be. So I believe there's a great deal overall for both Oklahoma City Thunder and Alex Caruso. And when looking at this, I mean, I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they keep this up all the way to the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if SGA, if he becomes the MVP favorite. I mean, yes, I understand it could be Nikola Jokic, but, to be the #1 team in the West, the better conference, objectively at this point, and be able to keep up with this consistent, impressive record. I mean, most MVPs, it's always the best player on the best team. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, most likely he's fitting in that category at the time of speaking. #1 team in the West, best player on the best team. So I don't see why he wouldn't be the MVP favorite at this point. Because having someone like Alex Caruso to guide him, to take him up the next level, to be able to improve on his defensive abilities, which is honestly like something that SGA he needs to get better at, and which he has been. He's been getting better on his defensive end. He's naturally really good as a player. He can like slash people. He can be able to like go for layups. He can draw fouls. He's like very smooth and agile with his dribbling ability. He can be able to facilitate around his team. He can do everything. He's really great on offense. I just wanted to see him get better on defense, and he has been so much this season, especially with someone like Alex Caruso right there for him. Honestly, like SGA, he's been set up for success since the beginning of his career, when he had Chris Paul as a mentor to guide him to be a better facilitator, to be a better leader. He has done that, especially since Chris Paul left. He needed to get better on defense. Like, especially in today's NBA, a lot of players can get better on defense, because of how much high power offense there is. And having someone like Alex Caruso, he's been able to improve his defensive game and being top 3 in the league in steals. So Oklahoma City Thunder, I will give them a lot of credit for them developing their superstars, developing someone like SGA, being able to help them out, whether it's being a better leader or being a better defensive player. Like, they're giving him all the tools necessary for him to thrive, and I respect that so much out of the management of Oklahoma City Thunder. But overall, let me know what you guys think. OKC fans, do you guys like this deal for Alex Caruso? Why or why not? Do you believe that he's able to help the Oklahoma City Thunder, lead them to the NBA Finals, or help them get further in the West, or it's just like an overpay? I would love to hear you guys out in the comment section. And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to this channel. I certainly love and appreciate every single last one of y'all. Thank you all so much. God bless, and talk soon.